I think you can start people's contracts right away. So for instance, if someone says, hey, I'd like to wait until the new year to make this decision, or hey, yeah, I think this would be good for us, but let's do it come the new year. A really easy soft close is that sounds amazing. So first step of sales, some of the objections you're going to get during the holiday season, they come up every year, and so we should cover those so you guys are ready for those. You're going to get, obviously, near the end of the month or even throughout this entire month, as you're speaking to business owners, you're going to get a lot of business owners that are going to say stuff like, I'm going to wait till after the holidays, or hey, let's give it till the new year and then we'll make a decision. And so having some ideas of how to respond to these types of responses, we'll do some, I'd love to hear in the comments. I have some that have worked over the years for us, as well as other students in here. We kind of go over some of these same principles each year, because it's not the same repetition that you get when you're doing something every week or every month and you get the same kind of objections. You definitely get a different style of objection here at the end of the year because of the holidays and because of the New Year's. It oftentimes there's a mental checkout that happens for small business owners. They say, like, hey, maybe I didn't hit what I wanted to hit this year. Obviously, 2020 is a goofy year in general. And so a lot of small businesses probably are a little bit, potentially they're a little bit on their heels. So some closing techniques for you guys. Oh, look, so someone said, yeah, I just had that happen today. Okay, so Amanda said that happened. Tell me what your response was, Amanda, if you don't mind, if you could share, or did you have one? Right? A lot of times you don't have one just because it's not something you've thought through yet. I'll wait till Amanda tells us what she thinks. Where are you, Dan? Looks sweet. I'm at my new house, Las Vegas. I don't have an office yet, so I sit outside and work now, which is actually kind of cool. I'm really pumped to have an office outside during the little chillier months here in Vegas, and I gotta probably move inside at some point. But it buys me some time. Let's see what Amanda says. Let's see if she heard me here. Amanda, come on. Did you have a response? I know there's a little bit of what's up, Chris? I know there's a little bit of a lag here. Nevertheless, I think there's a few questions you guys can pose while Amanda's coming up with if she had a response or not. I think there is a few responses you can have to people that want to wait till the new year. I think you can start people's contracts right away. So for instance, if someone says, hey, I'd like to wait until the new year to make this decision, or hey, yeah, I think this would be good for us, but let's do it come the new year. A really easy soft close is that sounds amazing. So first step of sales, first step of closing a deal is you want to be agreeable, right? The number one rule in all sales: be agreeable. Oh yeah, that makes total sense to me. So here's how I normally deal with situations like this that are near your end. Is we're gonna get you set up today, and your first payment won't start to the new year. So you just roll with it as if they've already bought it, and if they're intending to, because that's what they just told you, and you just roll them into sign right now. We're gonna get you set up. The good thing is this buys you a little bit of time, and this first month's kind of on me, so you don't even have to worry about it. And then when we hit the new year, instead of starting from a cold start, which is what we would be doing starting then, we already got all this momentum. And I imagine based on last year, you would have loved to have a lot more momentum going into 2020 from 2019, right? It might have got you off on a totally different foot and totally changed the way that the trajectory of the year went for you, even with all the COVID stuff that was involved. So I think that's a really good kind of response. If anyone else has got some other responses in here that they've used for Christmas/holiday objections, we'd love to hear them, because this is the month that this stuff tends to come up. So the better prepared we can be for closing deals. Let's talk about some other things while we're here and waiting for some responses. What's up, Tam? Let's talk about the mindset of the business owner you're speaking to right now. Obviously, with some of the lockdown restrictions, I imagine businesses are definitely a little bit more gun shy. But remember, the state or the frame that you guys put them in when you're speaking to them has a lot to do with their excitement or their vision for what their business is going to be in the future. So I want to I want to make this clear to you guys as best as I can, is you guys have a lot more power than you guys probably that you understand with business owners. And your excitement, your attitude, your vision is, for a lot of people, especially right now, is what they need. So many small business owners are, and I talked about this back in March when we had some initial shutdowns. I said, look, there's going to be a lot of business owners that run for the hills. Okay? There are going to be a lot of business owners that are running scared and they want to get out of business right now. And I'm telling you guys are going to be a light to these small business owners that are struggling right now or thinking about throwing in the towel. And if you guys can come to them with a plan, with a vision, with a strategy, right, that they can see, right? Because right now they're a lot of these business owners, they have very cloudy vision. They can't see much more than a few days or weeks or maybe even just a month in front of them in their business. And I don't know if I talked about this on here, but I've talked about this a lot recently in conversations I've been having. But, you know, if you look at someone like a bum, right, and a bum that lives on the side of the road and has like next to nothing, you know, the clothing they have on and whatever temporary housing they've created for themselves. You think about a bum or someone that's homeless. You don't have to call them a bum, I guess, but either way. And you think about their vision for their life, right? And my guess, and I think you guys probably agree with me, but my guess is that person's vision for what they're thinking about in their brain, what their subconscious is working on, is really just this like hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, however long the last meal can last them, so the hunger pangs aren't great enough that they freak out. So that vision, you got to think of someone that has nothing, is only like 3 to 4 hours out, or whenever that next meal is due, right? And that's what the brain is thinking on. And then you think about people that live paycheck to paycheck, right? So they have a shelter, but their vision is how do I get to the next paycheck, right? And then you move out to people that live month to month, and then it just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, right? So if you can gauge the type of situation the person you're speaking to, or the person you're, I guess, pitching to or selling to or making an offer to, if you can get into the head of maybe where they're at, right? So walk a mile in your customer's shoes per se. And you got to get a gut feeling, like, is this person doing very, very well? Meaning their vision might be out. Like you've heard business owners say like, hey, let's talk at the quarterly budget. Let's look at our advertising budget next quarter, Q2, Q3, right? So when you hear someone say that, that's someone that's planning out, that looks maybe 3 months out, 6 months out, maybe a year out, right? And when you start thinking about that, that should be a clue to you guys. The person that is having those quarterly budgets or yearly planning meetings, right, for where their future and the vision of their company is going to, those people are in a different financial place. So these are clues that you guys need to be picking up on when you're speaking to small business owners or even people, right? This is a kind of like an intuitiveness that you need to start understanding why people respond a certain way to certain things you say, and why someone might respond completely different. Remember, everyone is walking down a different path. Everyone's perception of where they're at is totally different.